Hello, Power Up Nation. I'm Pat Council. And on Designing Your Life today, I'm going to talk about how you can increase your customers in your service-based business. So we're going to center this podcast episode around sales. So don't panic. What I'm going to do is actually give you what I consider to be a simple technique for selling that doesn't feel like selling. Your customers will appreciate it, and so will you. And the reason that they're going to appreciate it is because they're going to learn something upfront without paying for it, but also they're going to get a glimpse into your professionalism and how knowledgeable you are when it comes to your business. When it comes to a service-based business, or actually, even if you're selling a product, people want to know how knowledgeable you are about that service or product, especially if it's something that they're going to use, well, to benefit their lives, to make them better, to help them make something easier for them. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about that. And we're going to keep this kind of short and sweet. I am preparing for our upcoming Summer Success Series. You're going to find out more about that next week. So that being said, let's press on. I said that twice, didn't I? Yes, but we're still going to press on. Now, when it comes to increasing your customers, when it comes to actually increasing your bottom line, in order to do that, you have to be able to sell your product. In order to sell the product, you have to be able to effectively offer what you have to someone who might be looking for what you have. So one of the easiest ways I've found to do that, and before I get to that point, I want to say this. I have been in sales for, probably 27 years. And so having been in sales that long, I, of course, when I was in real estate, I sold almost 1,000 houses. And then I was in Mary Kay, and I was in the top 2% of the company. And I also taught my team of 91 ladies to sell. And so the thing is, I have a lot of experience with selling. And it's not just experience for having been in the sales industry, but it's a track record because I've gotten some very good results. One of the things that I discovered that in order to get people to be excited about your product and to buy your product or service, in order to even get their attention, as I said, you have to be knowledgeable about whatever it is you have to offer. Now, this particular podcast, we're talking about a service-based business, but as I said, this can work for products as well. So any business I've ever been in, like for example, real estate is more of a service-based business, even though a house, in my estimation, it is a product of sorts. But it is a service-based business because people expect that I am going to know the rules of real estate. I'm going to make things a lot less stressful for them, and the list goes on and on. Now, I'm no longer in real estate, but the point that I'm making is people did business with me because I was extremely knowledgeable when it came to selling real estate and helping them find a home or getting their home sold. So the object of the game was for me to get more customers. And how did I do that? Once again, I showed my knowledge. I educated my customers on a level that was comfortable for them. The same thing applied when I was in Mary Kay. In order to reach a team of 91 women, I had to build that team. Now, of course, I didn't build that team alone. I had consultants that were a part of my unit. And so whenever they needed help explaining what Mary Kay had to offer, I was there to do that for them. So I had to be extremely knowledgeable. In order to even get to a certain level in the company, I had to be knowledgeable. So why do I keep talking about knowledge? First of all, it's simple. Number one, know your craft. All right. So that means you have to have a really sharp skill set. And the beautiful part is that is something that you can handle on your own, in terms of spending time learning your craft. And when I say on your own, I'm saying you spend time learning it, but you may have to connect with someone who's very good in whatever area, whatever your field of endeavor is. So don't be shy about connecting with someone. Don't try and do everything by yourself. Now, all right, so we've got the knowledge part out of the way. So what comes next? What comes next is customers. You need customers. It doesn't matter if you're super smart in when it comes to the business that you own, that service doesn't matter if no one's there for you to share your knowledge with. So in this day and time, this is why I love technology. I love the internet. And what I find that it's a lot easier, a lot less work. You don't have to, as we used to say in sales, beat the pavement. You have to get out and go door to door and that kind of thing. In this case, you can use the internet. I found that it's never been actually my goal to convince people that they needed something that they didn't already need or that they didn't already want. So that was never my thing. But it was my job to show them that the thing that you need, the thing that you want, this thing that you desire, whatever it is, the person who can help you with those decisions and the person who can help make your transaction more smoothly and the person who can help you make a wise decision so it doesn't come back to haunt you in terms of you choosing something that's faulty, is me. So that was my job. Okay. And of course, because I did spend time becoming more knowledgeable. And this is something that I do naturally. And I want to encourage each of you, how much time do you spend daily studying your craft, sharpening your skill set, courses, reading, listening to someone who's an expert or in their field, okay, or designated as an expert. Okay, how much time do you spend learning from someone who's been there, done that? Someone who has a track record. I love this quote by Tony Robbins. He's a really great coach and speaker, for those of you that don't know, and apparently one of the greatest in the world. So, and I'm sure he is, but I say that because I think I'm pretty good as well. And I'm being funny, but he's very good at what he does. I learned a lot from him when I first started in business. But the quote that I was going to share with you, he says that success leaves clues. So how much time do you spend learning from someone who has a track record that is impressive or somewhat impressive? Okay. Or they've been there down, let's say the road, down a road that you have to go down, but you haven't been down yet. So your knowledge, all right, enough about that. But when it comes to getting clients, one of the things that I do in this day and time is I actually teach. Okay, when you start to teach people, you start to educate people, then they realize that you really care about them. They realize that you're not just trying to sell them something. They realize that you are not the person who's going to make the decision as to what they should do when it comes to whatever service you have to offer. They realize that you are so confident as a business owner that you're willing to educate them so that they can make the best decision for themselves. And of course, you're hoping that they will choose you. There's a 99.9% chance that they will choose you. And why would they choose you? They're going to choose you because you're the one who thought enough to educate them. Now, here's the thing about taking the time to educate people. As I said, that's the beauty of technology today. And I'm talking about this because people often ask me, well, where do you find your customers and how do you stay in business and how do you make money and these kinds of things? So I don't have a problem giving them a few tips here and there. And one of the things I always share with people is that, listen, I teach people things. Well, what do you do? Webinars? Yes, I do webinars. I do master classes, but I also do courses. And if you've been listening to this podcast, you've probably heard me mention some of my courses along the way. And so I'm saying to you is that there are two things. The beautiful part about you teaching people and deciding that you're going to do it through a course, and usually a mini course will do the trick. Okay, and it depends on what your business is. You will find that my courses are not many. I may have one or two mini courses, but my other courses are, some of them are extensive courses where it's like a full-blown masterclass plus the courses with instructions and modules and all of that because of the nature of my business. However, you get to decide how you want to do this. If you are good at sharing what it is you do. And in order to be in sales, you've got to be able to communicate what you do. You have to be able to communicate about your product and share about your product. Putting it in a course and explaining about your product. For example, if you were an insurance salesperson, I can tell you, for me, insurance, and even now, insurance has always been confusing. I mean, there's so many different types of insurance. Of course, there's life insurance, there's health, and then under the life category, there's whole life, and then there are other types of insurances that you can purchase. And so there's so many. And imagine if there was a mini course out there, or even a full course where someone is teaching it. You can offer it absolutely free, but at the same time, because you're educating these people, your information is there, the necessary links are there, and of course they can click on it and they can connect with you because they may have some questions that are more specific to whatever their issues are. Now, I mentioned that even if you had a product, that you could also teach, use your knowledge, teach about that, and still get sales. See, what happens is when you set up a course and it's on the internet, well, it has a URL. And so anything that has a URL can be found not just by people that you know, but it can be found and accessed by people that you don't know. Of course, it might require a little marketing, but it depends on the subject. If it's in demand, it may not require, I don't want to say it may not require any marketing, but let's just say minimal, super, super small amount. I've had people register for my courses, my full masterclass plus courses, and I don't even know them, but they found it on the internet. So this is a great way for you to find clients. I can tell you it has helped me to build my email list, and it has helped me to grow my business. The beautiful part about this is why I'm either creating something new or working on something else. Those courses are there 24 hours a day. So the ones that I'm actually selling, that's kind of, I guess, passive income, if you will. But then the ones that are free, where people can actually access it, it's teaching them something that's of value, but it's also giving them a chance to get to know me and to get to know my area of expertise, but also to see that, wait a minute, she's knowledgeable in the area, in her area. So when it comes to increasing your business, especially a service-based business, customers are, that's a great way for you to build a strong customer base. Because here's the other side to that, or the rest of it, is that if it's a mini course, and let's say go back to insurance, and it's about insurance, guess what? You know that every single person that is looking at that little mini course that you have, okay, they have to register. So you capture their email address, and also you know that these people are definitely interested in insurance. So it's a lot better than, let's say, having a cold call, and in some cases even warm call, if you will. Now, I mentioned, I was about to talk about the fact that you could, even if you had a product, a course would help you. And I'm going to give you an example of that. There was a one of my clients that I coached, and it's probably been about maybe 4 years ago, and they were teaching. They weren't teaching, actually. They had a product. It was golf balls and golf clubs. And it was these really nice golf clubs that had lightweight, and they were just really prestigious type of golf clubs, custom designed golf balls where the customer could have their initials on them or a special logo and different things like that. So they were having a difficult time really connecting with the golfing community. But what we discovered was that my client, was an extremely good golfer. And I said, okay, that's your answer. There are a lot of people that golf that are really not good at it. There are a lot of people that would love to learn to play golf, but don't even know how to get started. That's where your little mini courses can come into play, and they can come in handy. Now you can also, and I shared with him, you can post these things on social media, and then you can set up these little mini courses, and they can come at will whenever they're ready. So we took it for a test run, and he went from having 2 clients to, in less than 3 weeks, he went to 21. And then in another 2 weeks, he went to over 50 clients. And then it started to grow. So then people started ordering his products. They started ordering his golf clubs, because in those courses, he was able to talk about the golf clubs, what made them so special, the weight and everything. And he was able to talk about the balls, and he had videos, in his case, showing himself playing golf. So think about this. Whatever your service-based business is, and in some cases, the product that you're selling, sometimes you can actually teach people how to use the product better. You can teach people how to search for the right person to do business with when it comes to a service-based business. If you're an accountant or something like that, you can share some accounting tips that will actually walk people through some things. It can be personal accounting. It can be personal accounting for their personal finances, or it can be business accounting for their business. And so I'm just kind of throwing these ideas out here, but if you're in a service-based business, it pretty much doesn't matter. You can come up with different classes where you're sharing some tips, or where you're teaching something specific that's going to help people. Nutrition for people who want to eat better. So you can do those kinds of classes. Now that's, I wanted to share this because, as I said, I was asked that question, how do I find clients? That's one of the ways that I get clients, and I get a steady stream of clients when I offer my courses. And every now and then, there's no method to that madness. At least I'm going to say once or twice a year, I come up with a new course or a master class, or I teach a little mini course, offer free mini course where people can access it and get what they need. Now, I want to say this, just because this is going to bring you more clients, that doesn't mean that you just throw up a free course for people to come and watch it and think that you're going to get business. Listen, bring your very best. Provide something that you know will really help people, something that people will need. And look at it from the customer's perspective. Any of my courses, free or paid, I looked at it from the customer's perspective, and I determined what my customers and clients needed. And actually, I did that in 2 ways. One was based on experience, and actually 3. One was based on experience and having dealt with a lot of people who needed certain types of help. The other one was actually people would ask me questions, and from the questions they would ask, I could figure out what was needed. And of course, the third one was periodically I would send out a survey. So I want you to think about that. It's a great way for you to build your business. Now, I'm mentioning this to you because I'm actually going to be doing a free workshop. And this is, I guess, I guess it would be me showing you, that how knowledgeable I am in my area of expertise as a business coach, as well as a life coach. And so I am going to, have a free masterclass coming up during the Summer Success series. Now, that particular masterclass is free to anyone. I'm going to put an offer in the show notes for you. And if you click on that link, because I need to be able to see who registered, so I can send you the link to participate in the masterclass free. But I'm going to share several tips as to how you can use online courses to build a following, but not just to build a following, but to also build your income. That's kind of a sneak peek into what's coming up during the Summer Success series. So there is, as I said, will be a link in the show notes. You can click on that. And the beautiful part is through this link, I'll be able to see how many people registered. And here's the plus, is that you can register and actually use this course program for 30 days absolutely free. So there's no obligation, you guys. And I always tell people, listen, even if there's no obligation and you're going to learn something that's going to help you increase your income, improve your business, then why not take advantage of it? Of course, I would prefer, if you are interested in learning how to use an online course to increase your income, I would prefer that you actually be interested in using this either as a marketing tool or actually as a teaching tool, where you're going to share information that's going to help people. And when I say as a teaching tool, in some cases, yes, you will set up courses that you can charge people for. And so I'll be sharing several different techniques that I use. It has allowed me to build, as I said, a constant stream of customers, and it has allowed me to increase my following. And so, with that being said, you guys, that's pretty much all I have for you today. I just wanted to kind of give you, like I said, a sneak peek into one of the workshops that I'm going to be, or master classes, I should say, because it's going to be online. One of the master classes that I will be teaching. And so I'm going to talk to you about how to earn money using online courses. Now, the plus is through this course program, and as I said, the link will be in the show notes. Through this course program, the company that's offering this, they also have amazing training. Their training is impeccable. If you're on my email list, you have heard me mention this to you before. And so you may want to consider becoming a part of it. The last time, I think we had about 7 people that took advantage of the offer, but I only sent it to a small group. And so now I'm putting it in a podcast because I thought, you know what? The Summer Success series is coming up. And what I'm going to do is offer you information that's going to help you win. Okay. So some of it will be free. Some of it won't be free. Okay. But either way, free or not free, it will all be beneficial. All of it will be very good. I promise you that. So that is all I have for you guys today. Check out the show notes. You can register for that course. As I said, it's free for the first 30 days. If you don't like it, you can always cancel it. But I would suggest that during that 30-day period, you participate in the click on some of the classes where they're teaching about online courses and how it plays out. And how it can improve your business. And so you can learn something. So even if you don't stay with that particular online course company, or if you decide, you know what, I don't want to do an online course, you're going to learn something about internet marketing and digital marketing. So it's going to be beneficial either way. And of course, you will get an invitation to my masterclass where I'm going to be talking about how I earned my money through using my online courses. And I'm going to be sharing how much I earned and all of the above. And I think you guys are going to realize that, wow, this is a great source of passive income. So in the meantime, I look forward to hanging out with you guys during the Summer Success Series, and check out the link again, once again in the show notes. And I want you to do life with power, knowing that you're built by design to win.